Bob here. Welcome to the Bob Bradley YouTube channel. Today we're out here on the road. It's a rainy day, but what better time to go look at some records. I found a guy with a jazz collection, and we're gonna go see it today. Hopefully I'll pick up some stuff and show you what I got. All right, here we go. And we're back. It's been a few days since I went and looked at that jazz collection. I want to tell you how that went down. I went to that guy's house. I looked through his entire record collection. I picked out a small stack of records that I was interested in, and he informed me that I would not be able to get any of those records on that day. He wanted to review the records, determine if he wanted to keep them or if they weren't really his cup of tea. And then he would come up with some numbers and get back with me. That said, I knew there were at least 2 records that he didn't really care for that I really wanted. So I made him a strong offer on them. He accepted, and I didn't leave empty-handed. Since then, we've been out on the road having a great time. We had some great food, we did some fun stuff, and most importantly, we found some awesome records. So, without further ado, Vinyl Finds number 118. That's right, folks, number 118. Let's get started. Coming in hot. This is a reissue record from Light in the Attic. From the original master tapes, pressed on 180 gram vinyl and housed in a tip-on jacket. Rodriguez, Cold Fact. If you're a record collector, you probably know about this record. They made a movie about it. It's fairly expensive, and a lot of people are looking for it. That said, this is a high-quality reissue record, and it is in mint condition. You can pick this up anywhere from, say, $30 to $45, and you should because it's out of print, so get it now. The material on this record is pretty strong. Rodriguez, a folk singer. There's some psychedelic elements to this, some funky bass lines, some strings, children singing. I mean, it's a cool record and definitely a welcome addition to your collection. Now, it's clear that Rodriguez had some juice behind him at some point. This is a fairly sophisticated production. People believed in him, clearly. That said, I don't think the marketing was quite right and cohesive. I mean, if you look at this, you got this black and white piece down here, which is like a lady standing in front of a drugstore. And then you got Rodriguez up here floating in a psychedelic bubble. We all love this album cover now, but I don't know if it had the intended result that they wanted. So it is what it is. The story is super interesting. If you don't know it, definitely check out the movie. I think it might be called Searching for Sugar Man. Really cool. It just has this white center label here. Light in the Attic Records. Sussex. Pretty cool. Great pressing of the record. Sounds really good. Definitely very nice thing to have. Speaking of reissues that sound really good. This is the brand new Blue Note Classic Series pressing of Brother Jack McDuff's Moon Rapid. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been wanting this. I saw an original pressing recently. I went and looked at a little jazz collection that a record store had, and they had an original pressing of this for just over $100. This record came out on Liberty. in 1969. Great year for music. It is on the Liberty label still. They decided to do a gatefold for this one. Super iconic record. It's primarily famous because of all the samples that have been taken off this. There's at least one really good drum break on this, and if you don't know, that means that it's just unaccompanied drums. There's nothing else happening but just drums. And when you're constructing beats for hip-hop, rap tunes, whatever you want to call it, there's been samples put off this record by A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Jay Dilla. It's one of the records that a lot of samples have come off of. That said, it's a super funky record. The drum sounds on this are spectacular. You can hear those drums ringing whenever he hits those drums. Now, some of the personnel on this is unknown for whatever reason, but this is possibly the most iconic Brother Jack McDuff record, and if you only have one, this one's the one. Moon Rappin'. Look at this. The Jeff Beck Group, Rough and Ready. Yeah. Now, I have most every Jeff Beck record. But I didn't have this one. Every copy I had found of this record was just thrashed. And that's usually a good sign. That means people listen to them a lot. It was kind of a party record. And for good reason. This record absolutely rocks. Jeff and Cozy Powell have got some chemistry going on this thing. Cozy is just ripping on these drums. There's all this double kick stuff going on, if you know what that is. Absolutely shredding. And Jeff is just playing some otherworldly guitar here. Now, I did a little research into this. Once I heard this record, it just started to peel the top of my skull right off. I was like, my God, I gotta look into this. And from what I can tell, Jeff is playing maybe a 54 Stratocaster on this record right here. Now, 54 Strat is only a few years older than my Stratocaster. This is a 58 Stratocaster. That said, 54 is the first year Stratocaster, and they are very special guitars, and they are quite different than some of the slightly later ones, you know. So that is a point of interest for me, big time, because I mean the guitars, but 54 Strat, that's legendary Grail stuff. But the tone is so beastly, and this is a cheap record to find. If you can find a clean copy, definitely pick it up. It's incredible. Yella Epic label. Killer vocals, killer bass, killer drums, killer guitar, killer keys. This record is underrated. Nobody hardly talks about it. It's incredible. The gentleman's house that I went to look at the jazz records, just out of nowhere, just qualified, yeah, I don't like Jeff Beck. I was like, are you kidding me, man? Whew. Anyway, from the jazz collection that I went to look at, Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane on Jazzland, but this is the Japanese pressing on Riverside. I gave the guy $20 for this record. It's in near mint condition. I don't have many Japanese pressings in my collection. This is one of the few now. When I listen to this record, one thing is obvious, that a player has a sound that is all his own. You're kind of born with it. It's in your hands. It's up here in your mind. And it's that thing where you hear someone playing and you say, oh, yeah, that's Stevie Ray Vaughan, or that's John Coltrane, or that's Miles Davis, or Paul McCartney, wherever you want to go with it. That's it. This record, when you hear it, it's just oozing Coltrane and Monk. Monk's doing all the Monk stuff, you know. He's playing piano and it sounds like the notes are just falling down a flight of stairs. Coltrane's playing these speedy runs. What I'm trying to say is it's just them being them. I see reissues of this record around all the time, and I'm always tempted to buy it. And I thought, this is nice. But the record that I wanted most, that I knew that he wouldn't care to sell me, was this one. Wayne Shorter, The Night Dreamer. Lee Morgan, Reginald Workman, Elvin Jones, Wayne Shorter. This is an insane record. This might be the best Wayne Shorter record. Now, I got into Wayne through Weather Report, interest in Jocko, and then, that got me turned on to Wayne, and then, you start going in reverse, and you start finding awesome stuff like this, like Adam's Apple, like Etc., like the All-Seeing Eye. But this record right here is fantastic. This is, I think Wayne's really finding his voice here. It's killer. And, obviously I love Elvin Jones. He's my favorite jazz drummer. And Lee, I'm not that big of a trumpet guy. But Lee is just, he plays spectacularly on this, and I really like it. Now, it is on this dark blue with the black B pressing. I've been getting a few of these, and you know what? They're pretty darn good. I don't think they're going to do a tone poet of this. Might be classic series. Whatever, I'll probably get it. But this is great sounding pressing. Don't sleep on these blue labels. I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, they're clearly analog. RVG in the dead wax. Sounds great. If it's clean, which this one is very clean, by the way. Wayne is contemplating the battle of good versus evil. With a title like Night Dreamer, I didn't expect the inspiration to be so deep. But, hey, that's what he was thinking about at the time. Jazz is not only a creative pursuit, but also a highly intellectual one. Wayne Shorter, The Night Dreamer. Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. Fantastic. So, Wayne, The Night Dreamer. Thelonious Monk with John Coltrane. Jeff Beck, Rough and Ready. Fantastic record. Brother Jack McDuff, Moon Rappin'. Very, very funky. And Rodriguez, Cold Fact. Yeah, nice little stack of records right there. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend, leave some comments down below. And until we meet again, that's right, folks. Bob out.